Nurses talks maturing. Kokopo Business College evicts students. And anti-vaccine protesters hand over petition.
This is National EMTV News with Dennis Orere.
Welcome, this is Tuesday's news. The People's Power Movement and citizens against vaccination peacefully marched towards the Parliament House to present their petition to the national government. Led by activist Noel Anjo, the petition questioned several acts in relation to COVID-19 and the no jab, no job policy introduced by certain business houses to enforce their health and safety policy at the workplace. Police Minister William Onglo and Pandemic Controller David Manning received the petition. Jamie Harrow with more.
Following the announcement last Friday, the People's Power Movement formally presented the petition before the Police Minister William Onglo, National Pandemic Response Controller David Manning, and police personnel today at the Boulevard Road leading to Parliament House. The petition represents several movement parties, NGO and civil society coalition partners. According to the PPM chairman Noel Anjo, the petition covers several conditions, including unconstitutionality of the Pandemic Act and the no jab, no job policy.
The no jab, no job service policy is illegal and of no effect and must be removed immediately by the government. The government regained control of the country by putting a stop to its illegal policy being implemented by the private sector, employers, and now many public sector establishment offices where government services are accessed by the public. Removal of the illegal and discriminatory policy of presentation of vaccination cards to enter and access NCDC office and public amenities managed by NCDC as well as other state-owned entities. Failure by the Prime Minister and the government to have a clear, decisive stand on COVID-19 in the country and particularly at workplace has left the door wide open and given rise to such unlawful and discriminatory policy being implemented by the companies.
Upon presenting the petition, Police Minister William Onglo swiftly responded to the petition that it will be dealt with accordingly.
Vaccination is voluntary. It's still voluntary. There's two parties to it. It's an employer and employee. This is the legal gap na some leaks na mati this final details here. We have to fix it out right. And then everybody should understand the way forward. Instead of we fight lopside, we fight lopside. Countries there are 2 trillion says who? Everybody in the world. Italy protests, America protests, South Korea protests come. But when any human comes, so it's healthy that we did it now and we received the petition. So as a government, we'll look at it. So thank you very much for listening to me. I want you all to be patient. Patient for your governor too, NCDC. M2 and Presa too. You brought 2 Presa, let me Presa Libla. Let's work out together. Let's work together.
The People's Power Movement has given the national government and elected representatives to respond to the petition in the next 48 hours. Police Minister William Onglo requested for the PPM chairman and his team to have additional time to settle the matter. However, the PPM stand still remains. The PPM will return on Thursday, November 18th at the Parliament House for the petition response. Jamie Harrow, National EMTV News.
While the People's Power Movement went on to present their petition formally, another group of protesters gathered outside of the Parliament House to raise their frustrations. The protesters' march began from the Unagi Oval and headed towards the Parliament House. The People's Power Movement representatives clarified that these protesters are not with them. However, they also marched to protest the no jab, no job policy. According to the NCD Acting Metropolitan Superintendent Christopher Tamari, the second protest was illegal and should have not taken place.
It was during this day that we police learned that there's two factions. One gathered at Unagi Owo. These are the people that were there initially when they protested last week, and the other faction is led by Noel Anjo. So Noel Anjo, when he wrote to the office of the Metropolitan Superintendent to be taken up in the Peace Good Order Committee, I thought that all the groups were together. So we were communicating with Noel Anjo, apparently to find out today that that was not the case. That was not the case. So that's why we have them on the background. So in the process of receiving the petition, the other group that was gathered at Unagi, demanded that they also be part of the receiving of the petition. So they walked peacefully, assisted by our members, and blocked off here in front of the Parliament precinct. Okay, so they're still insisting that the Prime Minister or any of the rep to come down and get their petition. So it is only that, again, as I've said again, I'll say again, that we found out that yes, they have petition, they have politics amongst their grouping. So we spoke to the leader, was adamant that he was the first one that did that, and he's not aware of Noel Anjo's regime. So this is our situation. This is the situation we face now.
Parliament reconvened for the November session this afternoon. Responding to a series of questions regarding COVID-19, Prime Minister James Marape says vaccinations remain voluntary, but employers are at liberty to exercise workplace safety. The concerns were raised by Member for Rabaul, Dr. Alan Marat.
Government has no physical monitoring measures out there on the ground to ensure its policy stance that vaccination is voluntary is obeyed or complied with by especially business houses in the private sector. In some government departments, even in the public sector, people are forced to get vaccinated before they can enter the gate and the public office for advice and other government services. From no jab, no job, it seems that the spirit of confusion has led business houses to implement their own policies contrary to the government's policy of voluntary vaccination. Now we have private business houses and government service providers implementing different policies. No jab or no green vaccination card, no job. No jab, no company accommodation.
Me clear long issues long old man Mary on the ground, and our government from day one have always maintained. Mibla no got right long force him one man Mary like sim vaccine. You yet. Life lo you got choice. You like sim vaccine or you less like sim vaccine. Am I right? Like lo you. But come lo issue the workplace where me making plenty questions and me sympathize Thomas long old lig man, lig Mary only work where workload possibly may be affected because only looks in right information and all less looks in vaccine. Issue the workplace and me also. I take COVID-19 out of the picture, Mr. Speaker. Suppose you know COVID-19, but you work lo one blab na you kiss him one plus sick, also TB. But you go to work on workplace without you malo pastam la house. You malo pastam la house, you're right, you come back to work. So you take away from step back from COVID-19 and you see this one plus sick. The workplace has every right to ensure there's a workplace safety.
Another protest over outstanding entitlements was staged in the capital city. The staff of Water PNG Port Moresby operations today held a sit-in protest claiming their entitlements have not been honored by relevant authorities. They say the unfair treatment on staff needs to be sorted out.
PNG Water Board Workers Association General Secretary Andrew Wyness spoke on behalf of the staff who have been ignored payment. He says the extra share payment and pay equalization is now an ongoing issue for staff at Water PNG Port Moresby operations.
They're looking 24 months. Last year, me bla talk. Hey, account ni close I'm November. January 1st thing ba bla lugul ka problem le bla. Na me bla wait you going to what now? One day yar. Now. Now can him November now ball kim narva excuse can out or no next year. Account close. Yeah. Because over the moon November, account belong Capman is out close.
Wines says the board sent letters to relevant authorities to look into the matter. However, there was no proper response.
Now, me blaming him over something. Pasigola Minister, Honorable William Tuma, later go along Kumul Consolidated Holdings, later go along Board Chairman, later go along all the authority. We did everything under the sun. Now, nobody seems to respond to us. Mibla tok ya, mibla tok la kabing na statue.
He says the management was asked to do calculations on the total payment. However, the total of the extra share payment is not yet known.
I think we did ask the management to come up with a calculation. The company, what the PNG, as a state entity, you know, not talking about what money. Now, what the PNGs are working millions every day, millions, I would say. Port Moresby can make him 200 million in 1 year.
The General Secretary says he will not hesitate to authorize the workers to disrupt water operations if the demands are not met.
So, Minister or management, strike will continue yet. And we are prepared to shut down all postman, so innocent public. No God. All postman, all like in all too.
Podivai, National EMTV News.
The National Control Center has reported a decrease in COVID statistics in the country. As of Thursday, 11th November, 249 cases were recorded. Then on Sunday, 14th November, 32 new cases were reported. While the decrease in numbers may be welcoming, Minister for Health, Jelta Wong, strongly urged vaccination. He said it is the right thing to do, both for increasing immunity against COVID-19 and for the purpose of development.
Surges come and go. This is our third surge. It's the worst surge we've had. So I can't really tell you if the next surge happens in February or March and it's much worse than this. We just have to follow the nuclear passing and try to get people to be vaccinated. As we can see, the evidence is there. The scientific evidence is there. Countries that are getting vaccinated are opening up and allowing people to travel to that country now, those countries. One of our small brother countries, Fiji, they're way ahead of us in vaccination, 80%, and they've opened up their tourism industry right now. And Australia, New Zealand, USA, they're all flying there for Christmas and enjoying themselves. So Papua New Guinea cannot be left behind. We need to follow what the world is trying to do, and that's to get the immunity up, and you can do that through vaccination. A lot of protests have been said in and around the country, but when I see this protest, they are young people running around, and I feel that they have become selfish because they don't think about the elder generation, because the virus it attacks our elder generation and people with underlying issues. And a lot of Papua New Guineans, we don't go to the hospital for a checkup. We're just about to die and we go to the house sick. So this is a type of mindset that we try to change, and this is we try to get people to get vaccinated so that we don't have these issues. And it also allows us the independence to allow people to travel in and out of our country without being scared. So at the moment we're pushing to ensure that people get vaccinated, but as our government has always said, it's not compulsory, but it's the right thing to do for our people. If they want to see better development within the country, they should heed to getting vaccinated.
Eastern Highlands province has relaxed its strict COVID-19 measures that have been enforced for a month, restricting movement of people into and out of Goroka town. The aim was to break the transmission cycle, a decision the Provincial COVID-19 Coordinating Committee is happy with. The decreasing number of cases and COVID-19 related deaths are attributed to the strict measures applied. The relaxed measures include the uplifting of intra-provincial travels and PMV services, resumption of classes, normal business operations, but all to observe new normal protocols. Curfew time has been changed from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. All these will commence tomorrow. You're watching National EMTV News. More stories after these short messages. Stay with us. Welcome back to the news. Nearly 100 students at the Kokopo Business College in East New Britain were forced to evict their boarding facilities yesterday. According to students, they were not given any warning by the school administration. The students were locked out of the campus and told not to return.
According to a student, the college administration failed to produce a letter or warn students prior to the eviction. Students were shocked as they were told to pack their stuff and leave the campus. Most of the students were waiting for their tickets after the graduation was deferred to March next year. Under watchful eyes from police, Gadok security and the school administration, the students were told to leave the campus. Seen in the supplied footage, students packing up and leaving the campus and were told to stay out.
Yesterday we've been evicted from the school dormitory as well as the school grounds. We've been locked out of the school grounds that we were not being able to access the school ground on that very moment. We've been evicted on the fact that the administration as well as the principal giving us three main reasons why we've been evicted is because of drinking, noise pollution and damaging of school properties.
A student rep believes their rights were overlooked by the administration. EMTV was told the reason of evicting the students was because a few first-year and second-year students were drinking and damaging school properties.
We cannot deny the fact that in one way or the other, yes, the students have been drinking and damaging school properties, but we want to ask the administration of Kokopo Business College and the authority of the school to look into and do further investigation on which students are responsible on such activities that have been going on. We cannot accept what decision that has been done on the entire student body.
In a phone conversation with the college principal, John Curris, the students involved in doing the damage were self-sponsored students. The principal said the damage cost around 200,000 kina. He also mentioned that a few female students were left to remain following the situation. Meanwhile, students evicted yesterday sought refuge outside the campus, with a few housed by a concerned female staff. Jack Lapava Jr., National EMTV News.
The Nurses Association today met again with the Departments of Personnel Management and Health instead of the proposed strike actions announced last week. These followed a public service conciliation and arbitration tribunal to settle differences arising from non-compliance of promised benefits for the nurses. On day 8 of the nurses' sit-in protest, negotiations are starting to materialize, with the tribunal summoning secretaries for the Departments of Finance and Treasury to come forward and present reasons for the delay tomorrow.
The hopes of the nurses throughout the country hang on the association representing them as they continue to push for benefits promised to them by government. Today, a planned strike announced last week was replaced with a more Melanesian form of resolve, a tribunal to hear from the parties concerned. The outcome was presented to the members.
Today, we have been summoned by the Public Servants Conciliation Arbitration Chairman yesterday, and we have turned up today. And in that meeting, the chairperson was not happy about the government agencies, implementing agency, Department of Personnel Management, Department of Health, and Finance and Treasury for not implementing our award for 21-23 Why? Because this award has been signed in August of last year.
The decision to meet with the authorities isn't one that the association says has made its stand soft. The group says this is a more progressive approach and the results are slowly showing.
There are ways that we want to work with and through people to accomplish results and not to take things through harsh way of doing things. And for that reason, we have looked into the negotiation because the opportunity was provided.
It's taken authorities 1 week and 1 day to reach such response. But it isn't over yet. The tribunal that's brought the parties together have called for the noticeable absentees to present their side of the story tomorrow.
The chair lady has given the following directions. Number one, is directing Dari Wele to present himself tomorrow at 10 o'clock before the tribunal. She has also directed the Department of Finance Secretary Dr. Ken Nangan to present himself.
The sit-in protest continues.
We want Department of Health, Department of Personal Management, Department of Treasury, Finance, and the government to realize and understand how important necessary.
If the majority vote for a strike, then according to law, strike will be held. And the method and how the strike will be conducted is left to the executives and the managers of the facilities. So insofar as adherence to law is concerned, the association and the members are following due process and following law to conduct their sitting process. There is no illegality in such approach taken by the association and its members.
Bradley Valenaki, National EMTV News.
The 2022 national elections is estimated to cost 400 million kina. Prime Minister James Marape said this amount was estimated by the PNG Electoral Commission. He made the comments in Parliament this afternoon when responding to questions without notice raised by Tewai CSC MP Dr. Kobi Bomareo.
Enough, Prime Minister talk out long. Number one through system by must use the next year election, LPB or first past the post. Number two, ask him MOSM. You may got enough funding to fund him next year election or not got, because from previous history, plenty time because of funding, plenty chaos that come up long election they can't before. The plenty now long a lot election is start yet long service providers. They must come clearly.
And the electoral commission is on target to deliver elections based on the LPV system. However, again, we are running out of time. If this parliament decides to look at the private members' bill and give it a view on its own merit, then it's a matter of the parliament processes. But for the benefit of electoral commission and the country, law as we have today is the limited preferential voting system, and the electoral commission is preparing in respect to that mode of vote for next year. Let me firstly talk by no election deferral for want of clarity or need of clarity. Election will be staged on schedule. That means the issue of writ that was planned to take place on April 28 will remain so, and the election will run its course as programmed by the Electoral Commission. And so on the issue of elections, we intend to fund it fully in respect to his second question, whether funding issues. Electoral Commission still carries many legacy issues of past, but we ask Electoral Commission already as a executive government, cost him how much lo run him election next year. Only indicate him lo mipla so cost him 400 million kina long run him election 2022. We have our team both at Finance, Planning, Treasury, PM's Department, one time Electoral Commission, and look long all police, na CIS, na defense, long imi verify him good, long ensure him that imi resource him Electoral Commission good, long assist him all or stage him elections on time, on budget, and on in a safe manner.
The People's Party, founded by Enga Governor Sepita Ipatas, as part of their policies are focused on improving law and order, education and agriculture. The party has 6 major party policies that were presented today at the Political Party Policies Seminar at the PNG National Research Institute.
The People's Party was instrumental in the formation of the Marape-led government and is a political party that is vocal about change in the country.
We left PNC for a couple of reasons that is in our interest and the country's interest. Some of the things that they were doing, we didn't like it. So why support the government that some things that they did, we don't like it. So it was not right with our way of thinking and our policy. So we let them.
The party presented their 6 major policies at the Political Parties Policies Seminar hosted by the National Research Institute. The People's Party was founded by Enga Governor Peter Ipatas and has a strong belief in improving agriculture, providing a market for local produce, and to increase production. A prime example is the strawberry farm in Enga province that now exports direct to Singapore.
Surungi is no man's land. There used to be an agricultural station there before, but after tribal fight and this one, no months are stopped longer. What our grand chief did was Israeli company led by Dr. Oasis. Got them there and they started planting potatoes, started planting strawberries, started doing honey. Ainugene brings it here and direct to Singapore, and it's been sold on the shelves in Singapore. So that's a market that's been created. So now everybody there are going and growing strawberry in big way. They are doing honey in big way, and they are growing potato in big way because there is a market.
The People's Party is also concerned with improving the law and order situation in the country. The party believes that our law and order institutions have been compromised, and we need to have strict laws and measures in place to curb corruption at the highest level. And one of their plans is to involve overseas partners to strengthen law and order in the country.
We need Australian or New Zealand intervention in the law enforcing systems, law and order, which is breaking down a priority so that everybody in that sector is doing the right thing. The people does not have trust in our systems. The small man who is angry and going into Papindo and stealing a sausage, 1 plus sausage, people are fighting the slaman, Mary Nungu through na Karamigolo Pomana. The guy who has stolen 1 million is running, clubbing around. So where is the law?
Fidelis Sukina, National EMTV News.
And now looking at the Nest Fund market report, the Kina opened unchanged at $0.2850 in the interbank market. At Bank South Pacific, your Kina is buying $0.2775 $0.3738 Australian dollars, $0.3901 New Zealand dollars, and 31.08 Japanese yen. Looking at commodity prices at New York close, gold is trading lower, cocoa, coffee and copra closed higher, crude oil is trading higher, palm oil closed lower, and copper closed higher. And on the stock market, the Dow Jones closed lower, the ASX 200 is trading higher, and the All Ordinaries is trading higher. You're watching National EMTV News. More stories after these short messages. Stay tuned. Welcome back. The Registrar of Political Parties, Alphonse Gelu, says political parties are encouraged to have at least 3 policies and a maximum of 5. There are political parties that have gone as high as 20 policies for their party, which the Registrar is encouraging parties to limit their party policies.
Papua New Guinea has 46 registered political parties, and these parties have an important role in shaping the political climate of the country. By campaigning using their policies, political parties give the people a choice on which leaders they can choose according to issues they want addressed by particular party policies. But Registrar of Political Parties Alphonse Gelu says parties should limit their policies to a minimum of 3 and a maximum of 5.
You come up with 10, you'll forget some of them. You will not emphasize all of them. Because as a policy, you should be telling people about what you will do once you're in government. And that is something that a contract that you will sign between yourself as a party, as a candidate, with the people. Okay, it is a contract because people will hold you accountable for that. So that is the reason why we've always come up with this issue of, coming up with few policies that you think are very important, that would attract support from the voters, and you run with those policies into the elections.
He emphasized that human beings were referred to as rational beings, beings who are sensible and able to make decisions based on intellect rather than on emotion.
They do refer to voters as rational beings. Rational beings, which means that, we will decide on our own on what is good. That is what rationality is. And we as rational beings, we will decide on. So it is the policy of a political party that would influence those rational beings from making their choices.
There are other factors that contribute to voter decision when the country goes to the polls. But the registrar is encouraging political parties to push their policy agendas and not play money politics.
The things that the registry of political parties we've been talking very much on and emphasizing is the use of money politics. And money politics has become part and parcel of our election process. It has become part and parcel of the election process, the campaign process, and eventually the outcome of the election. That is something we want to now remove. We want to remove, so we'll make the practice become more free and more fairer, and then for us to develop that rational voter that we should be promoting in this country.
Fidelis Sukina, National EMTV News.
For about 20 years, the people of Olomo at the border of Kimbe and Biala have navigated through swampy fields and often dangerous hot springs to ensure their fresh fruit bunch reaches the main road. Oil palm is the only means of income to address education needs, health and social obligations. So imagine the joy of a new road into the area.
This is the welcome put on by the people of Olomo in Silanga, Central Nakanai of West New Britain Province. A show of gratitude and excitement to the Oil Palm Industry Corporation for building a new road for them. This barricade is where the road ended for the people here. This was where they bring their fresh fruit bunch. Bunches weigh on average between 20 to 30 kilograms. When the wheelbarrows are worn out, men and women carry the bunches out here.
Rain put down, me pla pay money, but me pla struggle pushing permit. Tamblo line or semi all but pushing long pla rotia, brukim swam, kaika swam, mali pili pen long and tasele mila kisimani, I'm kisim rota tapuru. I went up.
People struggle a life long, processing all this palm become necessary.
For about 20 years, the people of Olomo at the border of Kimbe and Biala have navigated through swampy fields and often dangerous hot springs to ensure their fresh fruit bunch reaches the main road. Oil palm is the only means of income to address education needs, health and social obligations. So imagine the relief and excitement when this 4-kilometer road was completed last month. Over the weekend, OPIC officers were given the honors to officially open the road.
Now me come up with access. Now me looking more some. Yet me looking more some all people blame by satisfied law. Access all proved all correct law.
Now me pla mamas because roti come go inside now me pla pili mamas. Me pla talk thank you lo you pla long this la work about work now you pla making lo me pla look sabe long this la roto sem government look sabe lo me pla lo need lo me pla na lo way na situation me pla gat long and me pla gat rot now.
The road is one of several projects funded by the Oil Palm Industry Corporation. This road project in Olomo started last year and was completed last month. Because of the swampy terrain, the contractor, Gem Plant Hire and Construction, had to compact the road 3 meters down. They also dug drains to redirect runoffs that most often flood the palms. A 3-month project that took them 8 months and 800,000 kina to complete.
flow blong kalbet so mi mas katim la nubla again we mi ira liglig bangen elbi mi bla lo kompekim na bla sinanim kalbet so tami bla mo kam lo side mi bla lu sen walk and by right lo mi bla so mi bla bypass mi bla passing back na lo side mi bla katim bora again katim taisken mas kamelo dislab we embena elbi mi bla lo sinanim kalbet na lo kompekim lem lo long time.
Thank you, lo contractor. Even though I'm go through some kind of struggles, at least the head office to also legal money or funding, but mibla make him go na kind work also mibla must try lo put him go through lo narbla projects.
Lawrence thanked OPIC and the Department of National Planning and Monitoring and the Department of Treasury for the funding, adding that there are 5 other roads that need similar attention. When the price of oil palm is at 629 kina per ton, road access is vital for farmers to increase production. Shamin Poramba, National EMTV News.
Trukai Sports is next. Stay tuned for the details.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome to Trukai Sports. Following the announcement by SPPNG Hunters on the appointment of Digital Cup Premiership winning coach Stanley Teppen as the assistant coach, Teppen says he is looking forward to the 2022 Intrust Super Cup season.
Departing's next Tigers coach Stanley Teppen has had a sensational season this year, claiming the 2021 Intercity Cup. Teppen is one of the most successful coaching icon, leading Tigers to 4 premiership titles before signing the 1-year deal with the SP Hunters.
All that I had to obviously inform my current employees, the Lace Next Tigers, through the Late Biscuit Company, that I was leaving. So it's just a 1-year deal at the moment to assist the Hunters.
Teppen welcomed the decision to join the SP Hunters coaching staff for the 2022 Intrust Super Cup season. The Digital Cup Premiership winning coach says he is prepared to work alongside head coach Matthew Church.
The timing this year, I think it's probably better for me, and at this sort of being able to work with Matt, and I think it's good too that Matt's been given another year, so instead of me just taking over fully, I respect that, and I think it's better for me to learn as much as I can and work with him, work with other coaching staff as well.
Teppen has been with the Lace Next Tigers for almost a decade. He says the Intercity Cup has helped him build his coaching career over the years.
At first, I had to learn a lot of things, but as the years progressed, I think I've learned a lot in how our way Digital Cup has improved, and then that's probably made me a little bit smarter, having also been around and constant or staying with one club for 9 years. I think that's helped me a lot, and the success just comes from the just probably not giving up, but just staying constantly for those continuous 9 years. So every year I think we've improved ourselves.
Teppen's appointment as the SP Hunters assistant coach is a bonus to the rugby league fraternity in the country. Suli Suli, Trukai Sports.
That ends Trukai Sports. The weather report is next. All the details after the break.
Trukai Sports. Trukai Sports.
This weather update is proudly brought to you by MoniPlus, with you always.
Regional weather forecast for tonight and tomorrow in the southern region. Port Moresby cloudy with rain periods. Rain showers and possible thunderstorms for Daru and Kerema. Alotau, brief showers possible. Popondetta, partly cloudy with few showers. To the Momasa region, Ley and Vanimo, cloudy with rain showers. Medang and Wewak, few overnight showers possible. In the New Guinea Islands region, Lorengau, partly cloudy periods. Kavieng, Kokopo, Rabaul and Buka, few showers at times. Kimbe, cloudy periods with some showers. And in the Highlands region, all centers to expect cloudy with rain periods, then morning fog.
The weather update was proudly brought to you by MoneyPlus, with you always.
And that's the news, sport and weather for Tuesday, the 16th of November 2021. Until then, pleasant viewing, be safe, bye for now.